today we've got abandoned locks, we've got locks being restored, we've got beautiful old railway buildings and lots more. So today's video is going to take us on the Lichfield Canal, and it's going to be a bit of an update video on some of the other parts we haven't covered in last week's video. Now if you haven't seen last week's video, we were at the fantastic Dartford Moors and the HS2 site, and for the official opening of that section to the public. Now loads has happened there, that's been their main focus I think, but also up ahead here we've got sort of lock 24 just above here. This is lock 25 we're by now, and we've also got further up the canal, we've got places like Fosseway Heath where they continue to maintain and do various works down there. So lock 25 then, we have the overflow. So this is from the pound between lock 25 and lock 24, and this runs down into this circular sort of spillway. It runs down over these walls and through the middle there into the pound below. You can see some of the old coping stains here, pretty big ones. You can see actually on this one, look, and have a look closely at these. You can see this is where the gate would have been. You can see the curve there, and there's still old bolts and stuff in there. Look, this is, you'd have had another one of these here, and there's like a ring on here, and that's where the well, the ring would have been here, sorry, and that's where it would have held the gate post down, and then it would have been into the ground lower down. So you can see up here probably, I know they're the original ones, so I'm not sure. The back bits look like they're newer cast, but the actual bit we just looked at is sort of this first section here, and they look original. Maybe they're not, and it's just a good job. So I expect those coping stains down there were actually for here, look, because this is all brick built on the top here, so there's no coping stains on here, whereas throughout this lock in different places there are coping stains. So you can see kind of here where your sort of where your gear's going to be, and there'll be a paddle sort of down in the bottom there. That's to drain down, well, put water into the lock so you can go down through the locks. So here we are, lock 24. Now last time I was here was probably November. There was a members' day down at Dartford Moors, and the trust allowed me to come up here after and have a little walk through the actual lock. I'm not going to go into the lock today, but I'm going to give you an update of what's going on here. So if you don't know the story, I'll be very brief because it's I've covered this quite a lot. But this was the old lock, and it took you up, as you will see in a second, and then along sort of following the road further up. Now the problem is there's a lane just up ahead called Cricket's Lane, which is the canal is going to be too high, so there used to be a humpback bridge and they don't want that anymore. So what they've had to do is get rid of this lock, despite the fact that it was restored by the members. They've had to get rid of this lock and move the lock to the other side of the road. So now this is quite a cool feature. So what they've done is they've kept the original lock wall, they've removed this lock wall, and they've diverted the channel away, so it's away from the house, so they can secure the bank, and they've dug it through now to go further along. Like I said, there's a video of me walking through, going into this a lot more, so I won't go too much into all of this, but it's a beautiful area. You can see now all the flowers are coming up. They planted a load of whips up there, look, there's trees going in places as well. Across the other side here again is all planted up, trees growing in that bank which will help stabilise the bank as well. It's part of what the Lichfield are so good at. They're really good on the nature side and trying to restore things. That blue bar there is the old water level, so the canal is obviously here, and this was the old entrance into the lock just here. Lock gate would have been where that darker blue brick is there. This was the original sort of overflow through here, and this is the sea brick wall. It's 2022. There's also some others dotted about of stages of where it's been restored and changed and stuff like this. So this brickwork wouldn't have been here originally on this front edge. This was done to tidy it up when the levels were all changed for this lock here. This was done last time I was here. They had built some of this wall. It's a lot further along than it was, but they've now got a horseshoe on there and a bit of a mural up here as well, which is quite cool. But you can again see loads of whips, loads of stuff planted all along here, some trees in there as well, ready to go. This site here is planned to be developed. I think it's Persimmon Homes. But yeah, down through here. So this isn't the canal wall, this is a retaining wall for the bank. And I believe this is carrying on along through here, which is why this has been dug out. And then once that's all secure, they can dig the channel out lower down. And it looks like they are currently digging out for the footpath through now. So this is a footpath diversion. You can see now the brickwork's carried on through that bank to secure it, and this will all disappear over here. It's not quite nice to see where these. So I think they put a couple of these in last time I was here. These gabions, and you can see the bank's already growing. There's already bulbs coming up through there and grass on it and stuff. So it doesn't take long for it to revert to a more natural state. So this initial construction stage, which is a bit messy, looks very barren, it won't be long until this looks like it's been there for years. And again, more trees and stuff here as well, look. So walking up to here is Capper's Lane. You can see, looks like a bit of an old wall there. I expect that's something to do with coming up to the original bridge, maybe. I think that looks original. It doesn't look like it's been laid down recently. So the original bridge here was a humpback bridge, and you can see we're really close to the junction here, and apparently cars used to come down here too fast, take off and land in the middle of the junction. So they don't want any humpback here, they want it to stay flat, hence the canal being dropped. So there's going to be a bridge under here, which is actually being paid for by Persimmon as part of their development. That will take the canal at a lower level under here. This will be a cut in here, so this lock will be about here where we are now. Canal will come through underneath the road here, lift you up and take you into this section here, which takes you around and follows the road, goes around the back of the buildings and takes you to Gallows Wharf, then to the London Road Bridge, where the line diverts then into St John's section and all the new developments are going through, and doesn't go through Lichfield anymore like it used to. There'll be a video coming up on that soon of the old line. I'm just going to take a look at what sort of where it ran and what still exists. There's a bit of it still left. Here we go, look, here's actually a little picture telling you what's going on. So you can see the locks we've just walked up through. This is the old lock here, and the Tamworth Road Narrows. Under the bridge, which should just be a standard flat bridge, and up into the lock, which is directly here. So let's jump over to Fosseway Heath now, and we'll see what's happening up there. So here we are at Fosseway Heath Nature Reserve and Wetlands. Now this is an area being created by the Trust, obviously for nature, to continue their fantastic work they do. So you can see here, there's a big cutout in the wall here. That's the old line used to go down there. We've come from, that's a new line this way. That will obviously be blocked up when the time comes that they are not working in there anymore, that they don't need access, and this gets filled with water. But loads has happened down here. You've got the old lock here, which unfortunately seems to have died. The old lock was just over there on the other side through that opening. And this is I assume the original gate from it. That's obviously fallen down, so it's going to need some repair, probably due to the storms we've had. But this is an area where they sort of keep, this stuff is mad, it grows loads, and I know they've got to keep it back, because it just takes over the whole site if they're not careful. But when this is all full of water, obviously that will maintain itself to the water level, and it will create a lovely habitat up through for the wetlands. You've got the old railway just above there, that's disused now, I believe. So we're going to walk across now to, I don't know if you can see it, it's roughly where that white building is. So that's Lock 18, and we've covered this bit before, but I just want to cover a little bit further along, because there's something quite cool that I didn't realise was there last time I was here, and I just want to go and have a look at it. We come to these little bridges first. They obviously weren't original, but I think the idea of this is to, you know, it's open underneath, so you've got the canal channel, and the idea is that the nature can continue up into the field without crossing the towpath. So it's kind of like a bit of a a nature corridor down into the canal and the wetlands, which is all along here. So here we are, lock 18. This is a partially restored lock, as you can see. Got the overflow coming down the side here, which is quite cool. And then into the lock. So this is where the lock gates would have butted up against for the seal on there. Quite often use concrete these days to do it. Quite cool to see it still in there. And the lock gates themselves would have sat in here. Look, there's a curb for the timber. Giving that through. Would have sat in the bottom there. Still something there. And then through. You've got you see the brick bottom on here, look, which is curved as always. And this would have been a new addition. You can see where they got grinder marks in the brickwork here. They've cut that out, so you have to have them now in locks. I'll quite often see them on both sides. I'm not sure why it's only on one side here. You've got the old sort of bump plate on the back here. Probably not the technical term. It's a heck of a bit of steel there. You often don't see them anymore, they were scrapped. But you're not going to move those very easily. And you can see where the water runs out from the top when you open the sluices at the top to drain down through to fill the lock up. That's where the water will come through. And then you've got your seal just up there as well. So this probably needs a bit of making good. There's not a lot of growth in here, but it's you can see it needs a bit of pointing and stuff. The lock seems to be fine. It doesn't seem to have fallen in at all at the top. In fact, I'd say they're slightly outwards, which is good. So a bit of pointing, a bit of replacement brickwork in a few places, patching, and some gates, and you're ready to go. It's got the old overflow there, which goes onto the bottom of the lock, as I pointed out. And then we're kind of going up to where lock 17 would have been. I guess this is the white building I'd point out earlier is Lockkeeper's Cottage. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I believe the bridge is now gone. You can see the walls still here. So this would have gone into the bridge, and you can kind of see an opening just down the bottom there. This would have been Fosseway Lane Bridge here, and then directly on the other side here would have been lock 17. That's now it's all on private land, so I can't go any further. I don't know how much of that exists. It's just buried. A lot of the times they've just buried them rather than sort of destroying them. They destroyed a lot in the wars because the sappers used to use them all bombing raids and stuff, practice bombing raids. But they often are still there. This was actually abandoned well after the war, so it wouldn't have happened to this canal. So this railway is definitely abandoned because you're not going to get past a hedge and a metal fence. See the old tracks here. See, this is a level crossing, something that's not really liked anymore. It's like humpback bridges on canals. And then you've got the old crossing house here, which is pretty cool. It's boarded up now. It's in worse condition than when pictures I've seen online of it. Hopefully it looks like it's had some of the brickwork repaired, so maybe it'd be saved. See inside there. See if I can angle my camera down in. It's a bit of a mission to get. That's the only angle I can get. You'll probably hear it scraping on the selfie stick. Don't know what that's going to show you. I'm on my tiptoes. So I'm going to end this one here. Good place to end, I think. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great day.